So there should be a box for South Asia.
Absolutely.
For the nationality.
Yeah, I mean, the South
very
Asia.
good point.
I mean, the South Asia. The Americans actually are getting this a bit better because the Americans have got a group in America called SALT, South Asian Leaders. They're an NGO that does a lot of work on civil rights for people of South Asian origin in America. Very, high-level attention they get paid by Obama and his team as well. Very increasingly strong group. But no, South Asia. I mean, I think South Asia as a group of countries. I sometimes say to people, it's characterized by the 3 C's. What are the 3 C's, Arif, you may ask? Well, the 3 C's that I sometimes would refer to in no particular order are curry, cricket and conflict. And you might say to all the people that love curry or cricket, and even some of the people that like a bit of conflict, well, what's wrong with that? But I think there's an issue here, because what happens is most people in the West, this is a broad generalization, admittedly, tend to pigeonhole South Asia in that context. And I think that there is a new set of 3 C's we need to be thinking about. And it's around creativity, innovation. I mean, if you look at the number of pharmaceutical companies that are starting up, Eximco over here, you've got companies in Pakistan and India, pharmaceutical sector, and there are other examples as well, creative industries and media. So there's another C, which is creativity. There's another C, which is commerce. You know, with all the problems with India and Pakistan trade, it topped 1 billion, I think, a couple of years ago, despite all the hassle. So there's more trade happening amongst all the countries in the region. There's a free trade agreement, the South Asia Free Trade Agreement. With all its problems, it's still there. So commerce, there's more trade happening, including film and media and arts. And then the other C is connectivity. You know, we're having more people connecting across cultures. There's more travel. There are more people watching cricket matches in other countries. There are more artists getting together. There are more NGOs connecting up. There are more women's groups connecting. I was very struck at the Indian Film Festival, one of the main Indian film festivals that they organize, the main Indian chamber there, FICCI, Frames as it's called. There was a huge delegation last year, I think just before the Mumbai bombings, about 6 months prior, from Pakistan, about 90 or 100 people. And this is not an isolated thing, there's more happening. So I think we need to challenge the 3 C's and say there's a new set of 3 C's. So culture is also in there as well, cinema is also in there, but cricket, curry and conflict, for me, is a bit of yesterday's news. They're always going to be there, but we need to get people to engage much more. And there's another set of, sorry, I'm going on a bit, but there's a 3 T's issue. What are the 3 T's? I'll tell you the 3 T's, and this is very relevant for your non-resident Bangladeshis in the UK or your...
This is a lot of free advice for South Asia from a reputation manager, by the way, so I'm just letting you talk.
Well, you know, the problem issue is there's nobody... Who is managing South Asia's reputation? Who's the brand owner for South Asia?
South Asians.
Exactly, but there's no institutionalized structure, there's no mechanism, you know? If you look at the countries that have really been successful at building their reputation, Malaysia, 20 years ago, yeah? I mean, they've got a few issues in the last week with churches being attacked, but, you know, generally speaking, they've built a very strong reputation. I mean, Turkey has also done a great job in recent years in building its reputation. Part of that has been driven by trying to get into the European Union, but even so, they've done great work as well. And so there have been moments when, you know, countries in the Muslim world have actually done a good job. But as far as South Asia is concerned, and of course it's not Muslim, there are a whole diversity of communities in South Asia, there's no brand owner, really. You know, at a business perspective, there's no investment promotion agency. You know, SARC has a number of organizations, but there's no investment promotion agency for South Asia. There's nobody saying to the business community, why don't you have one office in one country, and why don't you import another country and export to the other country, and why don't you also speak with a loud voice to the governments and say, why don't you get your act together in terms of encouraging cross-border trade and investment? So there needs to be a much stronger lobby about that. So I think South Asia is very much an important
But I think in the
piece.
current media there has been a lot of talk about connectivity from India to Bangladesh and Nepal getting access to ports and all that. Do you think we're progressing somewhat in that direction?
I mean, sometimes people need to be challenged by actually what is happening here. I mean, it's interesting to note that this region went from a near nuclear war in May 2002, and you remember the scenes on BBC. You know, you had British people literally running with their suitcases half packed outside of India. They were escaping India because they thought there was going to be a nuclear war between India and Pakistan. You had Colin Powell and Jack Straw, at that time foreign secretaries of America and Britain, doing their shuttle diplomacy between Delhi and Islamabad, trying to get people, you know, to concentrate on not to have a nuclear war. So you've gone from that scenario within less than 4 years to the implementation of a free trade agreement. So that's the scale of what's happening. So there are a lot of challenges and issues. But what I said a few moments ago, the 3 Ts, they become very relevant here.
What are they?
Well, you know, this is what...
Trade.
Well, no, it's not trade actually.
Not trade.
It's not even technology. We make it 5 Ts the way we're going. No,
they should be there though.
Well, they should be there. We'll make it 5 Ts. After this program, Mishu's now invented the 5 Ts. Now I think they're around cheap telephones, cheap TV, and cheap travel. So what this means is you've got low-cost carriers operating from South Asia to Europe, in particular the UK. You've got low-cost telephone calls from all across South Asia to the UK and elsewhere. And you've also got low-cost TV, satellite TV, being accessed by the masses. Now what this means is that if you're of Bangladeshi, Pakistani or Indian origin, or even Sri Lankan origin, and you're in Bradford or Birmingham or wherever else, suddenly Sylhet is in your backyard. Or Chittagong is in your backyard. It's in your front living room. You know, you can see, you can engage. The very fact that South Asia TV is 4 years old or so, or how many years old?
2 years.
2 years old. I got that wrong. So you know, there's a lot happening in that 3 Ts area, and what that means is there are exciting opportunities to connect the South Asian diaspora into what's happening in South Asia. And I think, I mean, one of the things that I'm involved in. So I'm not sure whether you let your interviewees speak as much in one go, but I can tell you about the South Asia Commonwealth program. Is basically, it's an initiative which connects up the Commonwealth, 5 of the South Asian countries are Commonwealth members, with SAARC. And it's called the South Asia Trade Investment Network. And all it is it's an initiative connecting the Commonwealth through the Commonwealth Business Council